is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path.
A reading from the first book of Maccabees, chapter 2, verses 15 to 29. The officers of the king in charge of enforcing the apostasy came to the city of Modin to organize the sacrifices. Many of Israel joined them, but Mattathias and his sons gathered in a group apart. Then the officers of the king addressed Mattathias, "You are a leader, an honorable and great man in this city, supported by sons and kin. Come now, be the first to obey the king's command, as all the Gentiles and the men of Judah and those who are left in Jerusalem have done. Then you and your sons shall be numbered among the king's friends, and shall be enriched with silver and gold and many gifts." But Mattathias answered in a loud voice, "Although all the Gentiles in the king's realm obey him, so that each forsakes the religion of his fathers and consents to the king's orders, yet I and my sons and my kin will keep to the covenant of our fathers. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the commandments. We will not obey the words of the king, nor depart from our religion in the slightest degree." As he finished saying these words, a certain Jew came forward in the sight of all to offer sacrifice on the altar in Modin, according to the king's order. When Mattathias saw him, he was filled with zeal. His heart was moved, and his just fury was aroused. He sprang forward and killed him upon the altar. At the same time, he also killed the messenger of the king, who was forcing them to sacrifice, and he tore down the altar. Thus he showed his zeal for the law, just as Phinehas did with Zimri, son of Salu. Then Mattathias went through the city shouting, "Let everyone who is zealous for the law and who stands by the covenant follow after me." Thereupon he fled to the mountains with his sons, leaving behind in the city all their possessions. Many who sought to live according to righteousness and religious custom went out into the desert to settle there. This is the word of the Lord.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 19, verse 41 to 44. As Jesus drew near Jerusalem, he saw the city and wept over it, saying, "If this day you only knew what makes for peace, but now it is hidden from your eyes. For the days are coming upon you, when your enemies will raise a palisade against you. They will encircle you and hem you in on all sides. They will smash you to the ground, and your children within you. And they will not leave one stone upon another within you, because you did not recognize the time of your visitation." The Gospel of the Lord.
My dear brothers and sisters in Christ, my dear children and my dear young generation, today, Thursday, 18th of November 2021, the reading given to us is from Luke chapter 19, verses 41 to 44. This day, while we celebrate an ordinary day, the Church in Europe celebrates in a particular manner the dedication of the Basilica of St. Peter and the Basilica of St. Paul. I want to mention to you about this consecration, dedication of the two churches, because the first St. Peter's Basilica was built in 324 after Christ. The one that is present today was consecrated after demolishing the old one, constructing the new one in the year 1624. St. Paul's Basilica was built in the 4th century but it was destroyed from time to time. What we see today in Rome, St. Paul's Basilica outside walls, it was reconstructed in the year 1823. Now these are buildings. These are the symbols of glory. These are the symbols of our devotion, truly. We love St. Peter, we love St. Paul. And the marvel of human art and creation we admire so much with regard to St. Peter's Basilica and St. Paul's Basilica. But the context of the reading, where Jesus is looking over the city of Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the symbol of unity of the chosen people of God. Jerusalem is the identity of the Jewish nationality, the Jewish people. Now Jesus is weeping over the future and the destruction of the temple and the city of Jerusalem because of the sin of the nation, the sin of the humanity. Jesus says to them, remember, so we go back in history, because these people, the Jewish people, after their experience of Exodus in Egypt, now they were taken back into exile in the year 597 before Christ into Babylon. And they were brought back by God through the king of Persian national emperor, who brought them back in the year 539 before Christ. They have been given back the city. They have been given back the identity, but they live in sin. They have forgotten God who saved them. They are forgetting and they don't listen any longer the commands given by the Lord through Moses. They think about their own glory in vanity, and they boast of themselves. They have forgotten God. The moment you forget God, everything that you have gained, you begin to lose, and we are destroyed. Jesus is weeping over us when we forget Him.